Hello and welcome to another edition of the Steel City Huddle podcast. If you're wondering, that's not LeeAnn. LeeAnn does not have a beard. LeeAnn is currently dealing with family stuff, as I've been dealing with health stuff and back and forth. So I'm very happy to be back. I am not close to 100%, but luckily you can do podcasts while you're sitting down. So that's why we're doing this. But there's going to be a group of gentlemen who are not sitting down and we are hoping are going to stand as tall as they can today. So before we do that, let me introduce author and Steeler fan extraordinaire Relic. How are you doing today?
I'm good. A little nervous, but I'm good. It's been a good day. It's been a good day.
It has. I've been telling my family in like our football chats. I feel weirdly confident about this one, but my brother-in-law, who's a diehard Texans fan, did say one thing that I agree with, and we'll get to in detail more. But he said the Texans score a lot on the Steelers, then they'll win, and I agree. And my magic number is 24. If the Texans score more than 24 points, the Steelers have a difficult time on their hands. How do you feel about that to start it off?
Got to keep them under 20. That's the magic
Under
number.
20.
Under
I
20. I
appreciate that.
I ran I ran multiple scenarios today on my trusty Chat GPT, trying to figure out, do we have an advantage here? Because I'm so worried about this game. But AI and I agree. 20 points. Don't let them get over 20. They're not that great
I,
on offense, but I mean
that
we've
that that
seen
is
this. We've seen the Steelers struggle a little bit.
Yes, that's the biggest thing because I think in our last couple of playoff games we've been outscored 63 to nothing in the
Mhm.
first half. We cannot fall behind. Now by fall behind I mean like anything over 13 points in the first half if we're trailing is falling behind. If we're behind by 10, I might be able to be okay with it, but if we score no points in the first half, I'm going to be very frustrated, which leads us to the first thing I wanted to talk about. How big of an impact not do you expect and do you need DK Metcalf to have today?
Well, I think we proved against the Ravens we don't necessarily need DK. Other people stepped up, but obviously DK is a huge improvement to the offense. I think my notes here, DK led the team in receiving yards, even though he was suspended for 2 games. So uh, obviously that's a no-brainer. But the question is that 2 game suspension put some rust on them wheels? Is he going to take a minute to get on track, or is he going to come right out flying? I think it's 70-30. I think we're going to have DK come out good, but there's always that chance that, it is the playoffs for the Steelers, so there always is that chance that for some reason we're not hot. So as long as he gets
That's
hot,
true.
we're good.
And the way to do that with the receiver like DK Metcalf and similar to him, George Pickens before, is get him the ball early.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what kind of throw it is. It can be a stupid little 1 yard throw. Let the ball touch their hands multiple times early, and they'll be okay. But I like that you talked about the adversity we had without him because we went through the Browns game where we learned what the negative side of that was when you're not prepared for DK Metcalf's absence. But I think that's where wanting those veteran guys came in handy. I mean, Adam Thielen. I mean, he may not do a lot, but when he does something, it comes up big. That's
Yeah.
why I wanted to get a guy like him.
Calvin
I'm
Austin come in
excited that
clutch.
exactly, and apparently they've been working on that double move that he made at the end for a little while. So I'm excited that it's looking like Arthur Smith is starting to understand this offense. And let's be honest, there's limitations when it comes to this offense. You're not going to be able to do with this offense the same thing you do with the Bills offense or Jaguars offense or something. But I think if we get hot and we actually make good on what the defense gives us, that's going to be the biggest thing because our defense has proven the last couple of playoff games we've played. Our defense can keep us in games as long as our offense scores anything at all. So is the pressure on the offense to score more or the defense to have to make so many stops that we just win the game 3-0?
Pressure's on offense. There's no pressure on defense. If you look at the the actual stats of the Texans, um, their offense isn't explosive. They're not the Ravens. They're not, the Patriots. They're the Texans. We've played them. We've beaten them before. The Texans offense here. Let's see, y'all. I have the Texans points scored or allowed is 23.8. Or I'm sorry, the points allowed is 17.4, but their average score is 23.8 points per game. The Steelers 23.4. I mean,
Wow.
you're pretty much even on my research here. Um, though they are coming
Another
a massive 9 win game streak. So, uh, is that momentum hot, or is that momentum coming in cold because you're coming into one of the most hostile stadiums for a home game?
with that 9-win streak, I'm hoping it's more of a pressure on them than anything because I remember when the Steelers were 11-0. A couple weeks
Mhm.
before we ended up starting to lose, it kind of looked like the team was feeling the pressure, and
Yeah,
cracks were starting to show. And it you need a team that's mentally tough to be able to make it undefeated through a while. And I'm hoping that this is a team that is just so looking at that 9-0 record and saying, okay, we can't lose this, there's no blemishes, and I want that pressure to carry over because I need the Texans to beat themselves a little bit here. I need a couple bad throws from CJ Stroud because I love our defense. I really do. But my God, this Texans defense is just otherworldly. I don't want to say that, but they are
no,
really
they're elite. They're scary elite.
unfairly fantastic, and
Oh,
it's at all three levels. It's
I believe they're second
I
in the NFL right now for points allowed, and they're top 5 in total yards allowed. So this is going to be a rough one for the offense.
It is. This is where I'd like to employ what I call the reverse Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning lived on play actioning in order to set up the run. We need to do the exact opposite of that. This is to me, this is more on Kenneth Gainwell and Jalen Warren than anybody else. And this offensive line, oh, you disagree? No, I like disagreements. Explain why you disagree with that.
This is on
I
Kenneth.
love it.
This is on Kenneth MVP Gainwell. This ain't on Warren for nothing. Gainwell needs to have every touch. He needs to catch every ball. The man's a dog. I love him. I hope we re-sign him. Warren, I don't even care if he stays. It
I'll come back at that. It's the
some days
Jalen
if
Warren
it
is an unsung hero. Now, I will say,
he's a dog.
this is not the day for him to fumble. That's the
No.
only thing in the back of my head that when stuff gets really, really big, Jalen Warren starts to hold the ball a little looser sometimes, and I need that to not happen. But I think this is the everyone who's ever watched the show knows that I love Najee. I love Najee more than anything.
Bring
But
Najee
one
back.
thing
Hashtag.
he wasn't able to do as much as I wanted him to do was make Warren better. They
Yeah.
were a good duo, but he didn't make. I feel like Kenneth Gainwell is making Warren better. He's pushing him a little bit. I don't know. I think Warren's teaching Gainwell a little bit about pass protection, but as a duo, they have a bond that they're feeding off of that wouldn't work if it was another person in this situation right now. And I think
Oh,
it's because both
100%.
of them are really. No one really gave us too much. They
Oh,
figured, oh, they got
100%.
rid of Najee Harris. We're just throwing stuff together. So I put it a lot on them. But I what receiver not named DK Metcalf is going to catch people's eye tonight on the Steelers side?
I can tell you a receiver that's not going to catch an eye, and we shouldn't throw to him at all, and that's MVS. You should walk home, bitch.
Well,
I
that got dark and violent very quickly.
I'm not
So that
I'm not an
escalated.
MVS fan. I thought I can't. He came in. I was like, let's give him a shot. Send him home.
MVS is, let's see, we got frightening. Awesome.
That's actually a franchise record for them.
For how good their offense is or how bad?
No, they're on a franchise high of a 9 game win streak.
I was about to say that I've way back when the Texans started out as a franchise, I think 2 times in their first 4 years, I predicted them to go 0-16,
Yeah.
which shows you how far they have come. So, no, that does not surprise me whatsoever that this is kind of a high. If they didn't have Andre Johnson before, they wouldn't be anything.
Oh,
But this is
100%.
do you trust Joey Porter to be able to lock down it's Nico Collins, right?
Believe so.
Yeah. Do you
I
think
mean,
that
who
Joey
else are you
can
going to
lock
have
him down?
cover him? Uh,
Well, if you're not gonna have him, then it's gonna be by committee. Those are the only 2 options that I can see in my head.
I am, in the beginning of the season, I was very critical of Joey Porter Jr. or Junior because it was like every game there was a hold.
Yep.
He's really stepped up. He's reined in that holding quite well,
Yeah.
actually. Uh, I have total faith in Joey Porter Jr. tonight. Um, I don't think it's going to be more so on the cornerbacks. I think it's going to be more on our front line. Uh,
Yes.
if switching players here, if Cam Hayward plays like he did last game, we have a huge chance of winning this game. Nick Herbig plays like he played last game. Alex Highsmith. Uh, my new favorite player, Jack Sawyer. If you get an interception, my dude, I'm buying your jersey. If he gets an
Ooh,
interception
there we
tonight,
go.
I'm buying his jersey, like hands down. I've been on him all year, but it's on the front. It's the Texans offense may be hot, but they're not harder teams we've played. They're not the Patriots. They're not the Ravens. They're not even. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say they're not even as impressive as Shador was when he had some of those big throws for the Browns. Like the Texans are, to me, eh, they have a couple good players, but they're not. We scored more touchdowns than them this year overall.
Yeah, that
So like,
it's
it's pretty much even.
well, that's where the game can be won because our defense relies a lot more on splash plays than I would like, but
Yep.
the I have to admit the Texans defense, if it was just on paper, straight out would win. But I think that we can make the Texans one dimensional by doing exactly what you said. All those guys you mentioned are going to want to shut down the run. They're going to want to make CJ Stroud win this football game. And I'll just be very honest. I'm willing to eat crow later if I have to. CJ Stroud alone cannot win this football.
No.
He cannot.
Um.
Now, what also cannot happen is Chris Boswell. Whatever is going
Don't
on
even
with
say
that
it.
man,
Don't even say it. Don't even throw it out
ever
in the
is
universe.
I wish him well. That's all I say. Just get yourself together, sir. Whatever you have to do, because this is not the time for that. I am not in the best health in general. I cannot be put through another game like that. Because
What I
all I really want out of this game is I will never say I'm okay with a Steelers loss. But if it
hmm,
happens, I'm gonna resign myself to the okay with it. Just make it competitive.
yeah,
I told my wife I lost like what 5 Steeler games. I haven't even gotten to enjoy it before it was out of hand.
yeah.
I just want to enjoy that we are in the playoffs for just a little bit before I
I
have
think
to accept that it's not going well.
I think given the fact that we've had such playoff trouble in the past, we're overlooking that we have Aaron Rodgers. I think he elevates this team to something special, and you can almost feel it. Like it. I know people say this every year. Steelers and big. You feel it, blah blah blah. But you can feel it. We're not going to win the Super Bowl. We're not going to the AFC title game, but something's different. You're seeing players step up. You're seeing the adversity hit this team, and we're showing up. I mean, we got our pardon my French, but we got our ass kicked by the Browns. And then look what
If
happened. It was like a wake up call. Aaron's yelling at the sideline, like, let me do this. Like, stop substituting. Let me handle this. Aaron's going to take over. I think we're going to be just fine. I think whatever happens, if we can keep it close, even if we lose, that's okay. If we get blown out, that's a whole other conversation that we can have Monday. But if we keep it close and it goes down to the wire like the Ravens game, perfectly fine.
Okay. And I like that you brought up Aaron Rodgers because this is where it matters more than anything. And I know Mike Tomlin knew that when he went out to get for Aaron Rodgers. And yet again, this is I understand that I was very hesitant on Aaron Rodgers before this, but we are at the point we are at because Aaron Rodgers has had a say in certain things that other quarterbacks wouldn't have a say in. Because I guarantee you some of these veteran wide receivers brought in are because Aaron Rodgers wanted veteran wide receivers that could adjust to things like what happened in the end of the Ravens game. Because I guarantee you have a young quarterback, and like everyone who was clamoring for Will Howard, you have Will Howard in that situation. Maybe a couple haphazard fun college plays would have happened, but that would have been disastrous. And we are going to need every single bit of that. But I need him and the line to be on the same page that they've been on for the last little bit. Because the offensive line, I don't like to talk badly about many players, but the best thing that happened to this line was Broderick Jones getting hurt.
Yes.
Absolute best thing that could happen to this line because Dylan Cook he's not just playing well as a replacement. He's playing really, really well in general.
Resign him today.
Yes. I think we can all agree Broderick Jones was not the answer considering how quickly someone else jumped into that.
I think Broderick Jones is done. I think he's gonna want some money. I think he's done. I don't think he's gonna.
I would be really surprised if any more than we've already invested went into him. And we talked about this earlier. Joey Porter Jr. I think the only logical option is to have him shadow Collins tonight because I can't think of anyone else that is going to scare me. And weirdly enough, that's what scares me. I've said it before and I'll say it again now. The only thing I don't want to happen is I don't want people that nobody knows, even Texans fans don't know, suddenly coming up scoring play. I think who was the Patriot that scored like 2 times on us in one of the games? Ben Hogan just wrecked us in one of the games. We find ways to let guys who have no business being on that field beat us, and just don't let that happen. So I'm just don't let that happen at all. Now on defense, which player has to stand out the most? Is it an obvious answer, or is this more of an X factor kind of thing?
I gotta go with TJ.
Okay.
We haven't won a playoff game with TJ. I love me some TJ. Steelers for life. One of my favorite players. You don't even have to get a sack. You don't need a sack, my guy. Just keep playing like you played the last 2 weeks. Did he even play the last 2 weeks? I think he played the last game. I don't think he played.
Yeah, it was just one game, and just his presence alone. That and his brother JJ said that on the Pat McAfee show today that the numbers might not be there like people want, but having TJ Watt on that field makes it a slanted football field and opens things up for other guys that want to do things. So I absolutely agree with you. But I'm excited. I've missed playoff TJ Watt. Playoff TJ Watt takes what the amazing thing he does in the regular season and just ups the ante somehow. I remember the Chiefs return. We need stuff like that. I don't think we win this game without a defensive, if not defensive touchdown, a defensive turnover with some kind of impressive return. I think we're going to need that.
The smartest thing that Mike Tomlin can do in this game, you let the Texans take over. You let them have the ball first. Don't try to do none of this bullshit of trying to set a tone. Let them see what they can do against the defense. Let us get the ball at half. It seems to have worked out almost all year for us. But there's one thing that the Jaguars. Did you watch the Jaguars game?
I watched most of it. I didn't watch all of it, but enough to know what they did. Yeah.
So I think that what the Jaguars did in the last 2 minutes, they let who'd they play? They let whoever score on them in the last minute and 20 seconds. If we get into a situation like that where they're let's say
Oh
our
yeah.
offense is hot, like our offense is white hot, and they can't stop us, and we're having these long drives, and for whatever reason the defense just cracks a little bit or flutters, let them score. We're white
Agreed.
hot.
Agreed.
Take what the Jaguars did. Let them score. Don't even try to block. Just let them get it and let the offense handle it. But that's only if we're hot and we're moving. Um, but you know, keep these Caleb Johnsons and these Jonnu Smiths off the field for running backs. I don't want to see a single Jonnu Smith run. Block, catch a ball, don't run. Please don't run. You're not good. Um,
Agreed. Speaking of
Pat
running,
Fryermuth.
actually, oh Pat, oh
Pat.
he is fired up. Use
Yes.
him. Did you see the look on his face when he caught that late pass? That's a Fryer. And before we get to some of the questions in the chat, shout out to Pat Fryermuth. I've been down on Fryermuth at points of this season. Almost everyone at some point has been down on Fryermuth, whether it's been for performance or for money. Dude still got it. Never has lost it, and it takes a special kind of player to stay cool with everything when you're overlooked for a whole season and then you're asked to come up in the last game and make some crucial catches. So shout out to Pat Fryermuth for being a stand-up guy and a stand-up teammate, for having everyone's back throughout that entire time. And as far as I know, never saying a damn word about it. So I just wanted to make sure we pointed that out because I like that you mentioned him. Bravo.
He finished second on the team, tied with Kenneth Gainwell for yards at
That's
486.
crazy.
Pat
It doesn't
Fryermuth
feel like it.
ended the season with 41 receptions, 486 yards, 11.9 average, and 4 touchdowns. He also had the second longest touchdown pass at 68, and he's had six big catches. Second on the team for big catches. Second on the team for longest catch.
An
Like
over the middle guy. That's where the
he
over the middle stuff is.
he really showed, as Mike Tomlin said, he didn't blink in adversity. They obviously brought Johnny Smith in because they didn't, for whatever reason, have faith in him in the beginning of the season. Um, and then that blew up in their face, and he just waited for his chance. And shout out to him. Uh, that's why we paid you $40 million.
Exactly. I 100% agree with that. Now, I'm going to link a couple of these questions to fun things. So the question is if we expect Steelers to lean on Aaron Rodgers' playoff experience to control the tempo, or they'll try to protect him with a more run-heavy conservative game. We'll boil this down to, you think Aaron Rodgers over or under 250 passing yards?
Over.
More than 250? Oh, I like that. I am not afraid of that at all.
I think
Uh,
I think Aaron Rodgers. We're gonna try to run. I think we're gonna try to run. And when that doesn't work, inevitably, because for whatever reason, it just doesn't. I love you, Kenneth. I love you, Jalen. Even though I talk shit about you, uh, if for whatever reason we just can't get it going like we want, that's okay. We got MVP Aaron Rodgers out there who's chucking it. So I think we're gonna lean on the run, and then when that doesn't work, it's gonna be MVP Aaron Rodgers time.
I like that. Now, of course, we went over the TJ Watt stuff a bit, but let's say TJ Watt, his only impact is not on the stat sheet, it's just the impact of TJ Watt. What other person on the team is the reason that the defense stepped up the way they did and we won the game?
Alex Highsmith.
I like that. Now, is that a run stopping thing or a numbers thing, like sacks and actual turnovers?
I I don't know. I don't even care if we get a sack. Just stop the run. We've been
Okay.
good at it.
Okay. Now,
We've been good at it.
I will say
So
there are a few things more beautiful in Pittsburgh since I've started watching Steeler games than a well-timed sack late in the game at home. I mean that place will, especially if it's TJ Watt and people find out that was, because the thing is I don't the lucky plays are fine. Like let's all admit there was definitely an element of luck to TJ Watt's interception the other game. But if that would have been anybody else, that reaction is half what it is. It's TJ Watt, so the reaction is double. And that
Actually,
legitimately matters. Oh,
actually,
yes.
um, this might put a smile on your face there, Zach. But I think there's two big players tonight that are going to make an impact, and if it's not
Okay.
TJ, I think we're going to see the emergence of Nick Herbig. Have you seen his stats?
I would love
He's
for you to. I know this good. They're good, but how good are they?
First of all, TJ Watt. He has 23 solo tackles, 32 assists, and 55 total tackles for 7 sacks and 41 sack yards and 10 tackles for a loss. He has 8 pass deflections and 2 interceptions for 13 yards, 3 forced fumbles, and 2 forced fumble recoveries. On to, in my opinion, one of the best Steeler players to ever put on the uniform, Nick Herbig. 21 solo tackles to TJ's 23, 9 assist tackles to TJ's 32, 30 total tackles. But here's where it gets interesting, Zach. 7.5 to TJ's 7, 59 sack yards to TJ's 41, 13 tackles for a loss to TJ's 10, 3 passes deflected, 1 interception for 41 yards, but he is tied for forced fumbles with TJ Watt. And they are the only two on
Right.
the team that are in the 3 forced fumbles. So I think, you know, I'm of the belief that both TJ Watt, Nick Herbig, Alex Highsmith need to be on the line at once, but we never really get that lucky. But I think Nick Herbig is going to come out hot tonight. Love the guy, young guy. I hope he gets a second contract with us. He's
Oh, absolutely.
he's really
I
showed
would
up.
be shell shocked if he did. And yeah, just oh, can he right there? There it is. See, great
Ooh,
minds. Herbig absolutely can. Now the big thing is a lot of people are upset saying, "Oh, why don't we use Herbig more and all that?" When you have the rotation of guys that you have, at a certain point, it's just TJ Watt's going to get the snaps, and then after that, Alex has 13 snaps is not bad for a guy like Nick Herbig because he can do everything and more with those 13 snaps that you need 50 snaps from another guy to get, and
yeah.
that's what's impressive. I'm almost, if I put money on sports, I would put money on the Steelers re-signing Nick Herbig. I just cannot imagine anything different. Um,
He's been a
so what?
massive player for us.
Oh, he absolutely has. So now we're gonna go to the predictions because I can feel it that it's getting close to game time because that feeling of you're almost underwater drowning, but you're not quite there yet. That's settling in. So before we get to predictions, anything else you want to touch on, or any little X factor stuff that we may have missed?
Yes. There are 3 players that I'm worried about on the Texans, and if we can shut them down, um, I think we'll be all right. We got Will Anderson Jr., Derek Single. How do you say his name? Derek Singly Jr. and Daniel Hunter.
Oh, Daniel.
All
You get a
pro
chance to get
honors.
him.
I know. All pro honors. High dominant unit for the defense on there for them. Um, those are our guys. Those are our guys. We need to shut down this game for the defense.
I agree,
Uh, in terms
100%.
of offense, I'm not really
I
worried.
know, right? You look and it's an offense that I would be intrigued to play with in Madden because you would have to play like flawless football to make it function, and that's fascinating to me. But in real life, and even my brother-in-law agree when I was talking to him this weekend about the game that the offense is the concern. Because I told him, I'm like, for all that we've seen, I still don't know what kind of player CJ Stroud is.
Yeah.
Genuinely don't. I don't know. Is he a running
Didn't he
quarterback? Is
suck
he a
last
pocket
year?
quarterback? Yeah, he was really down here. I mean, really. And I wonder, and I am not in any Texans locker room or Texans front office, but I wonder if it's kind of a Matt Canada situation where Deshaun Watson was so bad that whoever came after him was going to be a step up. And so they have rose colored glasses on at the moment. Um, but that, regardless, the offense, if you shut down the run and then Joey Porter Jr. takes out Nico Collins, I don't know who they go to. Or I'll say this, they should not be able to go to anybody with the defense that we have. That's simply it. And I trust DK Metcalf and Derek Stingley Jr. has to be one of the biggest matchups I'm looking at because I feel like DK Metcalf needs to, and I would never say this to his face, and I would apologize for saying it to him if I saw him. But he needs to wake up when it comes to understanding that he's a bigger person than other people are. I had a puppy when I was little, and that puppy, for the love of God, could not figure out he was bigger than this other dog that terrorized him. And no matter what I said, I couldn't get them to figure out. DK Metcalf, you're massive. You are bigger than Derek Stingley Jr. You are bigger than these guys that are going to cover you today, and I need you to impose your will on them today. That's your job today. Because and let's be honest, there's been probably 3 to 5 catches this season where I'm like, that's why we paid you 120 million to catch those passes right there, and he hasn't. I need him to make up for that this week.
I'm looking at his stats for this season. It's not very impressive. I mean, 3,041 yards. He's 19th in yards. He doesn't even have 20 touchdowns, passing touchdowns.
Now I will say this: if you look at any player on the Steelers who has had a career of being productive, almost all of them have had offensive lows this year. Aaron Rodgers, almost across the board, are career lows. So I think it's the Steelers offense itis. You come to the Steelers, this is what you, and he's paid $120 million, not because he's going to put up $120 million numbers, but because we need him to stay calm while we don't give him the $120 million numbers. That's how I felt. And I like what Harmony Hart said about this. The defense is going to write the story tonight, not the quarterbacks.
100%. First defense to crack and give up 2 scores, game's over.
I like that. And
if it's under 7 points, always a chance for the Steelers to come back. If it's over 8 points, it's Mike Tomlin is not known for his comeback stories lately. So
I will say this: the Mike Tomlin before this has had young quarterbacks or quarterbacks that haven't been able to stand up to him or all that. This Aaron Rodgers is what we need because there's going to be a couple of times in this game where Mike Tomlin's going to want to do something, and Aaron Rodgers, we're not going to know about it. He's just not going to fucking do it. And in preseason, I thought that was going to be the worst thing because I thought that was going to be selfish Aaron Rodgers doing what he wants. I believe in and trust that Aaron Rodgers knows what time to do this in. But a fun question for you before we jump into predictions. What is one thing if when we leave this game with a victory that we're all going to look back and say, "Man, I was surprised by blank."
I gotta say the defense.
As in, we held up and put the because you got to admit a lot of these defensive plays people that are talking about, they want to put that Baltimore game from last year behind everyone's.
Well, I mean, if you look at our defense right now, we are a mix match of just random. We're not a we're we're not a cohesive unit. You know what I mean? We're a mix match of old and young players who are trying to still figure it out. You see it every week that we have communication issues, but somehow they pull it off.
We
cannot let anybody get more than 2 scores over us. or you can't even let them get one more than one score because I mean we're not. I mean, look what the Bears did. They came back, what, a 20-point deficit.
21 to 3 deficit at one point.
We are not
It
doing
was
that.
no, we if we if it, we absolutely cannot. Yeah, that's
if
just the way
we
it is.
if we win the turnover game battle, if we win the sticks, keep those long drives going, Zach, we're all right. If we let
Now the
them,
a big thing you talked about this Texans offense, and we just like you said, we looked at the roster, we looked at the stats, didn't see anyone that stood out other than Nico Collins. Like, oh, this is a person to focus on.
yep,
Because of that, and that alone, I think that's going to eliminate the big, horrible, why the is that person so wide open kind of situations. Because the Zay Flower touchdowns is because they sold out. It was Derrick Henry all the way. Ignore everything behind me and just focus on Derrick Henry. There is no player that the Steelers need to sell out for to that extent on any play. I don't care if it's Nico Collins or not. You don't. There's no one on the Texans offense that you sell out for to that extent. So
no.
I genuinely hope that eliminates a lot of that, whether it was miscommunication or whether it was just selling out for that specific player. I'm hoping that just takes that away. Now
Well, I mean,
anything before we continue.
if you look at going back to the Texas offense, if you look at them, right, Nico Collins has a 1,117 yards. After that, it drops off hard. You got Dalton Shorts at 777, Jaden Higgins 528, Xavier Hutchinson 428, and then you're dropping into the like under 300 yards. So, like you said, I'm not scared of Dalton Schultz. I'm not scared of Jaden Higgins. It's Nico Collins going off and being like, haha, big yard. So
That's
nothing on the
that's a
Texans
very good
offense is scary. I
That's a
mean,
very and
their number one running back is averaging 3.6 yards a carry.
wow.
Woody
Is that
Marks.
Walker or Chubb?
Woody
Oh, that's
Marks.
Marks. Okay, Marks. Yeah,
Chubb
I
is
wasn't sure.
4.1.
Now, I will say I'm wondering if there has to be extra incentive for Chubb to beat us tonight. He can't like us in any way. We did this to him.
That
It's our
was
fault.
Minka, and he's not on the team. Sorry.
It was a black and gold blur. That's all he knows. But so we've established that it's gonna if the Steelers win, which I believe both of us genuinely believe, we're not just convincing ourselves it's going to happen. What do you think the score is going to be at the end of it?
The floor, as in, what do you mean by floor? What are you asking me here,
Oh
Zach?
no, the prediction,
Oh, the
the score.
prediction score. I thought you said floor for some reason.
Oh
Uh,
no,
Zach, I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I think 27 Steelers, 16 Texans.
that's a buffer. Oh, that's a nice
And
buffer.
that comes with a scenario. I think we're gonna start off. I think first quarter, no one's gonna get a touchdown. I don't.
Oh,
I
that
think it's
makes
gonna
sense for
be a
us. Yeah.
defense. I think it's gonna be a defense. Whatever. I think we're gonna be 0-0. I think Texas are gonna score first. I think we're gonna struggle in the second half or the second quarter. And I think at the end we're gonna pull off the Aaron Rodgers miracle. Gonna tie it up, and then I think in the second half is when Steelers are gonna turn it up. I don't think we know what we're getting into yet. We're gonna be feeling them out a little bit, and I think at half, as we've seen multiple times this season, the Steelers are gonna be like, okay, we know what we're doing now, and it's gonna be Arthur Smith miracle game plan of the year or bust.
No,
it's
pretty much. And this is where Arthur Smith gets to. I've said a lot of not. I'm never mean or cruel, but I've said a lot of things about Arthur Smith that are not exactly complimentary. I welcome him to put all of those aside tonight. Eh, I'm trying to. It's offensively. I think we're going to hold the Texans to right around where you said. I think we'll hold them to. I think it'll be. I'll say 24-17 Steelers. A nice 7-point victory. And I think I just want to manifest this into existence. I think that includes a garbage time touchdown from the Texans. So we will be ahead by 2 scores, and they will have to garbage time to make it that. That's what I want. That would make me so incredibly happy.
As we're talking here, I ran the scenario with ChatGPT. ChatGPT says Texans 23, Steelers 16.
Well,
at a 70% confidence level for Houston. I think you're right around there, Zach. Are you ChatGPT, Zach? Is that what you do on your off?
That's why I am so tired all the time. The amount of people that I have to talk to every day. Oh goodness. But if you have watched this instead of any of the number of Monday Night Countdowns or things out there going on, Roethlisberger's going to be on Manningcast later, so at least he wasn't live at this point. I'd like to thank Relic for jumping in very last minute, considering the differences in schedules that happened. And I genuinely hope that we get to come out on. Oh, what's happening?
We have inactives.
Oh,
Roman Wilson.
Before we leave. Yes, Roman Wilson.
Wilson, Will Howard, Caleb Johnson, Trey Flowers, Jeremiah Moon, Jack Driscoll, and Logan Lee.
That is I gotta say, and I don't think we said enough about this. So before we leave, we'll touch on it. We're healthy. We are healthy. For people who haven't watched the Steelers that long, you don't understand how incredibly important that is. I went through years of having Antonio Brown, Ben Roethlisberger, and Le'Veon Bell on the same team and never seeing them in the playoffs together. So the health, that's a great set of inactives considering who we've seen on in the last little while. So the big thing that means to me though is no excuses. Not a damn one left.
You got
the quarterback, you got the defense. So
we also got inactives for the Houston. Braxton Berrios, Graham Mertz, Jay Waugh Jordan, Elijah Huzzy, Christian Harris, and Juice Scruggs. I've never heard of any of those players except for Braxton.
And Braxton Berrios, wasn't he on the Bears last time I heard of him, I think?
Yes.
It's all the way back then. Wow. Okay. Well, it's going to be a very interesting night. We have less than 20 minutes until we kick off at Steelers playoff time. And like I said, I feel confident about this one. From what it sounds like, Relic feels fairly confident about this. After this week, if we win, we'll talk about where that confidence level goes.
One more thing, Zach.
What thoughts? Yes, I was about to say, leave us with some thoughts.
For anybody out there who's trying to watch the game, anybody out there, if it's not on your local network or you don't have ESPN, what is it called, babe?
We got a free trial of Fubo.
Fubo has a free trial, a 5-day trial. You can watch the game live tonight on Fubo. It is a free trial. You don't need to pay nothing. You got to cancel it after the game. Watch the game on Fubo, and then cancel it. In case anybody out there is looking to watch the game. That's how I'm watching it tonight since I don't have cable. So, hey. Let's go. Steelers Nation. 1, 2, 3. Steelers Nation.
There we go. And I'm on the off chance I was going to target Fubu as an advertiser. I'll just leave them out of it now. We'll just set that idea aside. Well, to all of us, from all of you, LeeAnn, we hope everything continues to be smooth where you are. And if you're watching the game at home or for some reason you're in the stands tuning in, get back to the game. We will see all of you guys later, and here we go.
LeeAnn and Zac would like to thank you for tuning in to the Steel City Huddle podcast. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss a thing.